So for the football player in case two, the exercises that I would have him do is initially there was a little decrease in his grip strength on the affected side compared to the unaffected side. So days about 1 to 4, I would have him do some gripping exercises with a tennis ball. So what I will have you do is I will have you hold the tennis ball and then have you squeeze and hold it for a 2 to 3 second count and then release. And then you would complete that about 10 times for 3 reps a day. And then the next one I would have him do is I'm going to have him do flexion and extension isometrics, and I will begin these a little bit later. They'll run from about day 4 or 5 until about the 2 week mark. And so what I will have you do is going to have you bring your elbow into flexion, don't let me push you down, and then can have you go down into just right there still, and just don't let me push you up. And then the patient could do these at home too with a TheraBand if he was to hold some tension on the band and just keep his arm in the same position. And the next one that I will have him do is I will have him do some wrist curls in both regular and negative curls. And so just give him a dumbbell, and I will have you hold the dumbbell and can have you curl your wrist up into flexion, and then slowly back down to neutral, maybe a little bit of extension. And same thing, I would have him do this from about that 4 day mark until about the 2 week mark. And so you could do that. And then the next ones I would have him do is I would have him do shoulder strengthening in all directions. And he could do that with a TheraBand as well, where I would have him hold his arms straight out or as much as comfortable with that damaged elbow. And then he could go up into flexion, abduction, extension. And we're just doing this because we want to keep that whole chain. Just since he has damage at the elbow, we don't want him to injure himself overcompensating at the wrist or at the shoulder. And he might see some residual damage because of nerve pain or anything else at those joints. And so some other ones I could have him do is I could also have him do some bicep curls. We could do the same thing where we could either do the TheraBand or we could use the dumbbell. And so you want to keep this pretty light. You don't want him to over-exasperate or hurt this elbow. And this is the same as the other ones, about 4 days to about 2 weeks. And so you would have him just go into flexion and make sure that it goes nice and controlled back down. And the same thing, you would have him do about 10 repetitions about 3-4 times a day. And then the last one I will have him do is elbow extension stretching. And so this will be towards the end, so about the 5 or 6 week mark when we're towards the end of our treatment protocol. If he's still lacking some of that full end range of motion towards extension, then we could just do some stretching where we could just have him go to where he feels comfortable, and then right where he starts to feel that little pull, and then bring it just a little bit past that. We would hold it for about 20 or 30 seconds each repetition, and we do that for about 4 or 5 repetitions so that he gets a good stretch on it and he's able to get back to that end range of motion. And that is what I would do with this patient.